Hi there, this is Brandy, the founder of Neurodivergent Inclusion Project, and I wanted to pop back into the playbook. For one, I have reduced the price to $15. I thank you so much for the sales that have already came about, and if you have already bought your copy of this, your parent playbook is going to be sent to you for free, so be looking for that in the upcoming about a week and a half. I'm concluding everything now. I wanted to jump in on the teacher edition and just kind of thumb through what some of the appendix is in the back. So I've created templates, the inclusion toolkit, your BIP at a glance. These are going to go on your clipboard, and then a functional tally sheet that is also going to go on your clipboard. And then the last thing is going to be a template for a glow and grow statement. These are things that are super quick for you to review. It is so much work when you have multiple special education kids in your room, whether they're all inclusive in one grade level, such as kindergarten or first grade, or if you're transitioning. It can get to be a lot of who has what are so-and-so's primary disabilities, how do I keep in compliance with the BIP, how do I keep in compliance with the IEP. More often than not, what I've seen, especially in my own district, is when cameras are reviewed for some sort of whatever that has happened, they will see where a behavior was occurred because something in the IEP was not implemented. Not that it failed, but that it simply wasn't implemented. And that's a lot for teachers to try to keep a hold of. So your IEP at a glance has your student name, case manager, their service minutes, so that if a substitute comes in and says, hey, I don't know how long so-and-so is supposed to be out of the classroom, this is a great tool to leave on a clipboard for a substitute, for your paraprofessionals, teachers, assistants, whoever is in and out of your room, in addition with yourself. You have your primary disability, the vibe, the strengths and the interests. A lot of times a new person comes into the classroom and they don't have any idea what they're walking into. And so little Johnny is over here and he's really having a bad meltdown and they have no idea how to even approach him, which is normal. When you have this, it gives a little bit of an oomph edge to a person that doesn't know this student to walk in and say, oh, hey, I see that you like Paw Patrol. Hey, I see you're really into dinosaurs, or you're really into space. Can you tell me about that? It gets those wheels turning like, hey, you know something that I'm interested in. It's not a fix-it. It doesn't always work. But it's a good thing to always leave those extra tidbits of tools for somebody that's coming into your classroom that may not necessarily know all of the students, especially your special education students. Strengths. Math may be a strength. Reading may be a weakness, or vice versa. If you're having a student that's having a meltdown, for some of my kids, I give them math, like hard math, as a reward. It's something about the math that challenges them. They love it. They love to expand their mind. If you give them what's 2 + 2 or 5 × 5, they're going to throw a computer at you. But if you throw in a long division or something, they're like, yes, I'm here. So knowing your students' strengths and weaknesses is huge. But that doesn't mean that everybody that walks in your classroom is going to know that. So that's what this little clipboard is for. The must-haves. Do they need to have an AAC device? If you have a substitute and somebody walks into your room and Johnny doesn't have his AAC device, that's the same thing as taking his vocal cords away. That's the same thing as taking his tongue away, his lips, his teeth, the whole kit and caboodle. If he doesn't have a way to communicate, you are out of compliance massively. And it doesn't matter if it's the substitute or not. They're going to revert it back to you as the teacher and say, okay, where in your sub-plans does it say that little Johnny is supposed to have his AAC device with him at all times? If I walk out onto a playground and it says that he's supposed to have his AAC device with him at all times, and I walk over there and he's into a fight with a student because he's hit or bit or scratched or punched or whatever, and he doesn't have his way to communicate, you're in violation of his IEP. You have removed his voice for him. So things like that are so vital. A bite stick. Is he supposed to have snacks all the time? Is she supposed to have a stuffy with her at all times? It's an emotional support. Whatever is put into that IEP needs to be on here so that nobody that comes into your room is out of compliance. Red flags, triggers, okay? Little Susie may hate the color blue, and you ran out of copy paper. There's no more white left in the building, and you copied something on blue, and that blue just set her off. It seems like a crazy stretch, but believe me when I tell you it is not. Knowing the triggers. If Johnny is triggered by Susie, and you have a substitute come in, and Susie is next to Johnny in the line, you're going to have a problem of getting ahead of these things and putting out fires before they even exist, before they even come about, is a massive classroom management strategy that so many teachers are missing the mark on. So this is something that helps you with that. Our BIP at a glance. This is our behavior plan. It is an individualized behavior plan. It's going to have the date of the BIP, the target behavior on it, the function, the why. Are they escaping? Is it attention? Is it something they want tangible? Is it sensory? Most of the time, people that are walking into your classroom, and even as I have found with general education teachers, they don't have any idea what that means. What does it mean that this is an escape behavior? What does it mean that they're attention seeking? What does it mean that they're throwing a fit on the floor for a tangible reason? Why are they throwing pencils and refusing to do paper pencil tasks? How does that relate to sensory? When you get a BIP and a glance and you write it all out, not only can you research it for yourself and see, okay, why was this BIP created? What do these behaviors mean? You can also take this to your special education teacher, to your diagnostician, to anybody that is in your child psychologist, anybody that is related to that BIP, and say, can you explain this to me? Then you can write it out in layman terms, one, so that you understand it, and two, so that anybody that walks into your classroom, again, has control. If you don't have control of your classroom, you are not teaching anybody in your classroom at all. So just know that if the functional isn't there, the academics isn't going to happen, not only for your special education kid, but for everybody else that's around them, because if little Johnny is throwing a fit, everybody's distracted. So this is like prime gold here for classroom management strategies. Again, these are your clipboard editions, okay? Functional data, okay? We're not all in ABA. I get it. Not all of us understands how to take data like a pro. This is simple. This is simply telling them, okay, the frequency are tally marks. Boom, 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 boom. I gave Susie a pencil 5 times. She threw it at me. 5 times she refused. Tally marks. Very simple. Does this have to be done daily? No. But especially when you're getting into these times where you as a teacher have to give progress for what's going on in your classroom, for progress monitoring, for the goals, you're going to want to have sufficient data. Telling a parent they're just awful, or they refuse to do this, or they refuse to do that, or I can't get this, or I can't get that. You're putting so much negative out there that it's making you look like you're not the professional. Like you don't have control of your classroom. You don't have control of your environment, right? And we want to have control. We are the professionals, and you don't know what you don't know. That is why I created this, because it's not I expect everybody to be a behavior therapist. It's that this kind of data is a simple here. This is what I'm noticing in my classroom. And then myself or a diagnostician or a child psychologist or whomever can take the data, get together with the ARD team, and come up with a way to help you inside your classroom. Antecedent, behavior, consequence. Antecedent, what happened prior to, right before I gave you this, you threw a chair. That's what we need to know. Consequence, what was the consequence? Did you say, oh, little Johnny, you threw a chair. Oh, I'm so sorry. Here's a piece of candy. And they instantly stopped. The consequence was, if I throw a chair, I get a positive that I want. So we have to be careful in our classroom management of how we're managing the expectations of these behaviors. Neurodivergent, I can't say this enough. Neurodivergent doesn't mean that they don't know. They are, and I stand on this, okay? The cure to cancer is inside of an autistic brain. I have said it is like my motto. These kids are so smart, and it doesn't take them long to pick up. It doesn't take them long to figure this escape of me running away means she's not going to give me this worksheet anymore. It's a whole world. Guys, it's a whole world. And you have a team of people that are there to help you. But if you don't ask the right questions and you don't present the right data, then you're not going to get the right help that we're looking for. Okay? Our glow and our grow log. I hate that this is 10 minutes in and this is what I'm getting to. The glow and the grow log. Okay? I have seen folders. I have walked into classrooms where I have seen folders that literally are just stockpiled with all the negative that child did for the week. And I'm looking and I'm like, where is the positive? A glow and a grow statement is going to save you in this because, again, if a parent doesn't like you, they're not going to promote their child being good in your classroom. They're going to look at it. I guarantee you, I've heard it numerous times across numerous ARD meetings. So-and-so doesn't know how to control their classroom. My kid hates this teacher. And I can see why. And they're bringing your folder full of data that's nothing but negative. Glow and grow. Every single day, a student, no matter what the behavior was, has done something positive. Start with that. Start with that. Let the parents know. Listen, parents know that their autistic child or their OCD child or their ADHD child is going to have behavior. They're not unaware that their child has a BIP. They're not unaware that at home they're seeing some kind of behavior as well. However, they're sending their child that has special needs to you for care. Not just academics. Yes, we're teachers, but we're here to grow students clear across the board. The last thing you want to be known for as a teacher is somebody that cannot teach special education kids. That puts such a bad taste in not only the school's mouth, the parents' mouth, the community. People talk, right? I'm bringing this to you as truthful and as straightforward as I can. Not to sell the book. Even if you don't buy the book, do your own glow and grow statement, okay? But stop sending home negative, 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 and not promoting what they're doing in a positive light. Was little Johnny able to identify the letter A today? Yeah, he destroyed the room. He chased somebody down with scissors, but by God, he picked up a pencil and he held it in a tripod grip instead of a fist grip, and he identified the letter A. Boom. Okay? It's that simple. It is that simple. Home connection. Ask me about. Get your parents involved. Let them write something back. The better the bond you have with the parent, the less likely you're going to be in parent-teacher conferences inside of offices over special needs kids. Okay? These kids are special kids, not just because they're special education. They need you. They need teachers that care. It's tiring. It gets to be a lot. I know that. This is what I do. I'm in my classroom recording this for you. This is what I do. Okay? I put on my cape and I run whenever I get a text message of help me. That's just what I do. But you also got to help yourself in a lot of incidences in this, because then when I show up and a note has to go home, the first thing the parent's going to want to know is, well, what was done to prevent this? Was their IEP followed? Don't get yourself in a legal situation and risk losing your license because you're not following simple templates, okay? The IEP at a glance. This is a printable, okay? This is something that is not necessarily a clipboard kind of thing. It's more of what you want. It's a full IEP, okay? At a glance. This is something that you're going to want to keep next to you when you're filling out those progress monitoring goals at 3 weeks and at 6 weeks, okay? A BIP at a glance. Replacement behavior. This is the whole kit and caboodle, okay? This is what you sit down and say, hey, I had a really hard day with Johnny today. Let me get out my teacher edition, not my substitute edition, okay? And then the Inclusion Pro certificate, okay? This is at the very back of the book. I'm a checklist kind of person. I am a did I meet the mark kind of person. I'm always looking for ways to further my education. I'm always looking for how did I do it wrong and how can I get it right. SPED is never going to be mastered, but that doesn't mean that you can't educate yourself to be the best that you can personally be. So that is this in a nutshell. Lots of pages, lots of greatness in here. And I will keep dissecting this book as we go down. But the parent playbook is almost finished. There's a few things that I'm wrapping up on it. And that one will also be available through Teachers Pay Teachers and through Gumroad. And so, yeah, thank you for your support. For everybody that is on Neurodiversity Inclusion Project, it has already been a massive success since I have done my official launch. I thank you for the sales that have already came through. I am so absolutely appreciative of that. Like, follow, share, and always, always, always advocate for inclusion.